Hi everybody, so I'm Lee and I'm here to talk to you about Mastering Python Networking. Amazing book by Eric Chu, really thick, really good. I got this a couple of weeks ago and I've been waiting to review it. It's one of these amazing topics. It's this intersection of networking as it traditionally was with programming. What we're seeing is this convergence of those two areas. As network engineers are looking to scale out, and we're looking to automate as much of the networking as we possibly can. I mean, you've seen it with cloud networking. You've seen it with microservices networking. Container network infrastructure like Cilium. There's a couple of other CNIs out there as well that are really good, and I'm just such a huge fan of this book. I thought that I was going to get something that was a little bit of PXpect, which is being able to go out and log into multiple devices and being able to program things, set your LLDP config, for example. But what I got was just so much more than that. What I loved about it was that it centered around Ansible as being one of the automation frameworks, and it provided real life running run books or playbooks rather, and also using things like the APIs, netconf, Yang configuration, being able to use the native REST APIs for a lot of these services as well. And it gives such a detailed background. I mean, it starts with a history of TCP, which again, a topic that I do a lot of work on, and then gradually goes out and builds out till you get to Ansible. And then the topic that I'm particularly interested in is observability, and it goes through and talks about things like PySNMP. It talks about Escapee, which is another tool that I use quite regularly. And then it allows you to, also flip that on its head, not just in terms of, going out and retrieving data from devices from an observability perspective, but also being able to create your own interpreters for it. So there's a working example of a NetFlow v5 receiver, for example, and a SNMP agent as well. There's also the ability to extend other services. So it takes a couple of real-world tools. I mean, we've all used, MRTG and Cacti in the back, at some point, or NTOP, and so it has, active examples of how to extend Cacti, how to extend NTOP, which I just thought was fantastic. And then it takes a little bit further than that again, and then looks at things like continuous integration, continuous delivery. So it talks about how to Dockerize some of these services. It talks about how to set up Flask containers to be able to create your own microservices, and then goes even further again into towards the end of the book, we're talking about async IO, threading. We're talking about multi-processing, and it talks about exactly why each of these tools are important and how we use them, why you would use multi-processing over multi-threading over async IO. And then the book wraps up with some amazing examples for AWS and Azure. So it gives you great examples on how to automate using the AZ commands or the AWS CLI commands. So, I mean, all up, I loved the book. I thought it was fantastic. It took me a few days to get through, but anybody who, even if you have no experience with Python at all or programming at all, that's not a barrier to entry with this book. It's fantastic value because it takes you right through from knowing nothing about programming right through to being able to write something relatively complicated and multi-threaded, which is just awesome. So 2 thumbs up. Love the book. If you want to support this channel, please buy a copy of the book and support the author Eric. He's fantastic. He's very active in the community, and he has his own community website as well on Circle, which is really worthwhile as well. So thank you all. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.